Hi guys, good evening. Well, for those of you who were with us last night, we are here with the passion expert and of course many other different titles. Joanna Kennedy works along with Date Camp as well as being a coach for herself related to passion and relationships and just all kinds of the faux pas that we generally don't talk about, but we're getting a chock full this week, which is exciting. We left off speaking about kind of where we are today in relationships and the mixed messages that we're giving, and going back to the old-fashioned values. And well, I had a chance before meeting Joanna to review some videos much about Date Camp, but also really watching Joanna, and there's some things that I know my viewers are going to love hearing about it. So first and foremost, I just want to finish up from yesterday about we talked about first dating and questionable about having sex and kissing and what does that really look like. Now granted guys, we're not going to start making out, so for you guys who are watching this, that's not going to happen. But for those of you who are actually looking to, I know my camera guy was like, guys, turn the head there. Yeah, turn around. Tell us about the first date. You meet a guy, you're really excited, you exchange phone numbers. I don't even think it's exchanging numbers. You sometimes business cards if you're at a business setting, or maybe you're at a party and this guy asks for your number, or maybe a woman asks for a number because of course it's the millennium. Where do you go from there?
Well, it's funny. Can I actually back up
to
what
want
you do when you've met each other and you're at the party or you're at the grocery store? Or,
you can meet guys at the grocery store. I have.
Absolutely.
Swishing the melons. Okay. No comments.
No comments.
Everyone laughs so much. You're like, what did she just say? Yeah, I had the melons. Smell them and grab them. That's what they do.
You are too funny, Samantha. But here's the thing. We were talking in the last show about how do you start off on the right foot.
Right.
And I was saying that it's really important for a man to know, does he want to be the man in this relationship or does he want to be the woman? Now that sounds stereotypical in 50s, and it's not about a rule, but it's about who am I genuinely? And in my days as an engineer in that corporate environment, yeah. I felt, even though I was a woman's body, I had a lot more like manly energy.
That didn't feel very good.
No, but yeah. I was attracted to manly men. That's what I wanted. Unfortunately, I didn't very often attract that. I tended to attract either a more neutral relationship where we didn't have the spark in chemistry, or I would be the one that was in the more manly mode and he'd be in the more passive mode.
That's got to be interesting.
Piss me off. Because I'm like, come on, stand up. But he never had a chance.
Because we kind of pushed him down.
I totally would, we push him down and we say, no, I got it. I got it.
Did you find you personally that because you worked in a male-dominated environment, in a position obviously that was more male-dominated, that your dates probably didn't last very long because you were such the strong-willed person and you were the Helen Reddy and you were hey, this is my pace and I'm gonna go with this.
Oh, I had so much control. Oh my God.
See, most women that are watching this are probably rooting for that right now.
Well, and that's the thing. Until they realize it's actually sabotaging what their heart really wants. Like
interesting.
They want that, and I'm not a proponent of the whole fairy tale knight in shining armor, but there's a level of that's what we want as a woman.
A little bit.
He's our guy that, he's our rock. He stands for us, and he's there, and he cherishes us. Not only is he our rock, but he cherishes us from who he is as a man. And so going back to, how do we exchange numbers? If a man hands me his card, I give it back to him and say, I don't call men.
Oh, I love her. Keep going. Oh my gosh. So what you say, I don't call.
Absolutely. I will not call you.
Yeah, I don't do that either.
Because here's the thing. But if I take that card and he thinks I'm going to call him.
Then it's open.
It is open, but I might as well tell him right up front that if you're not going to take the lead in this relationship and call me and ask me out, I'm not interested.
So you've got this strong persona, but then when it comes to meeting someone new, it's totally, but you're putting it, but here's, I got to tell you, this is where there's going to be questions.
Yep.
And there are.
Oh yeah, totally.
So you have an opportunity, you really like this person, you give back his card. What if this guy thinks you're being a bitch?
But I'll explain it. So, I had a situation a while back. I was walking actually down the street at one point, and this guy stopped me, started talking to me, and he said, I'd love it if you'd call me. And I handed the card back and I said, I actually don't call men, and here's why.
I call women. No.
You're right. There's another option, but that's not the truth either.
Shame on me. Woo. Okay.
That I'm a bit old-fashioned, and I like a man who pursues me. I like a man who takes the lead in a relationship.
And guys do like that too.
They absolutely do.
Yeah,
if
they
they
do.
know that's what we want.
Right.
And so at that point, but if I take that card and he thinks I'm going to call, well, the opportunity's gone. And a lot of them, what I also find out though, is they're trying to be nice. They're trying to, this will make you feel more safe.
To be that person.
Right. You'll be more safe if you get to call me. And I won't give you my card if I don't feel safe enough to give it to you. And then I'm going to have a phone conversation before I ever meet you in person.
You're going to learn.
And I'm going to feel into it. I'm going to check the vibes. Is this somebody that I want to go spend time with? If I'm really not certain, then I might choose to meet in a public place and he still doesn't know where to find me. So there's ways that we can do that.
So let me ask you a question, because we're going to go into commercial break, and I don't want you to answer it solely. Ready for this one? If a guy gives you his card and you make a comment and you don't accept it, what do you do next? And we're going to go into commercial break, and we'll see you back in 5. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
At Date Camp, we connect the best relationship experts and dating resources to the millions of single hearts ready for love. Date Camp delivers the information and advice needed to date successfully and love passionately.
Hi guys, welcome back. Well, as you know, I did that annoying thing like keeping you guys on a cliffhanger. Joanna and I were just talking about how if you were to meet someone, say for example, maybe you're walking down the street, maybe you're at a restaurant, maybe you're at a bar, and of course a guy comes up to you and he introduces himself and he says he'd like to take you out on a date or a cocktail or something to pursue more than just the hello, and you turn it down. What happens next?
Well, now I haven't necessarily turned him down. It depends on how he does it.
But you turned down his card.
I turned down his card, but I told him he needs to take the lead. I'm happy if you ask me for my card, I'll give it to you.
Right.
So I'll let him know I'm happy
to give yours.
Ask me. If you ask me. I don't even volunteer it. He has to pursue me. He has to ask for my card.
So what if he doesn't ask for your card?
Then he's not owning his masculinity. I am attracted to, and as a feminine woman, and there are lots of feminine women, and we're disconnected from it. There's been all these years of, I can open the door for myself. Oh, no, you don't need to carry that for me. I got it. But that's been
mixed messages between both sexes, though.
Absolutely.
That's the problem.
Absolutely. But when women start to, if we're feminine at our core.
Yeah, and most are, unless they're tomboys, and even tomboys still think.
And there are some natural tomboys that run more masculine energy, but their relationship is going to be better with a man who runs naturally more feminine energy, so that we still have the chemistry. It's like two magnets. So, I know so. Not do I think so. I absolutely know so.
I find this so interesting. So my concern would be if somebody gave me his card and said, call me sometime, I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't call them. just because I wouldn't call and say, hi, this is Sam. I met you on the sidewalk. We were passing by and you thought I looked really good. No.
Yeah,
Me
right.
being who I am, I know I wouldn't do that. However, if I met the guy and he gave me his card, or I'm sorry, if I gave him my information, I would then think in my head like every woman, well, is he going to call?
But see, the thing is, here's where I'm going to challenge you.
Yeah.
You don't give him your information unless he asks for it. If you're in a bar or you're at a party and you like this guy and you go, here, I want to give you my information, that doesn't work either. That's put you in the pursuer role. That's put you in the masculine role. And he's not going to step up into who he truly is, and he will never show up because the energy's been set from the first moment.
So right
Who's
there,
pursuing?
the pursuant, so you guys are listening, the pursuant starts everything. So now some people would beg differ because if you watch a lot of movies, you'll find that woman that says, no, I'll call you. And the guy's like, ooh, okay. Some men do like the more, Helen Reddy, I'm taking control. I'm not saying the whole relationship, but sometimes that's turn on for guys.
Absolutely. It's just not the first date. That's where do we want the baseline energy for this relationship. Later, oh yeah, I can step up. I can take
but the
control.
beginning.
It's the beginning. It's what's the essence of how we want this relationship to go. And when you get masculine with masculine, when I bring masculine energy and my guys,
it's like hanging out with your best friend, right?
It is. It's like hanging out with your buddy. It's your best friend, and it's like magnets. And we actually repel each other. If you bring opposite ends of the magnets together, they stick, and it takes a little pressure to pull them apart. That's chemistry. That's passion. That's spark. But if I flip, which is when I was
the
engineer,
unknown, right? It's the unknown, right?
Well,
kind of a little.
It is, but it's actually like electricity. It's like magnets, and they actually it's this energy that makes it stick. But if I flip and I come home in my masculine energy, or back in the days when I was the engineer, we ended up repelling each other. We'd have enough hormones running for the first couple months.
Right.
But then it's like, no, I'm not interested. You don't really turn me on all that much. As a matter of fact, you maybe even piss me off.
Yeah, that's true. So I guess that leads us into date camp, right? People need to learn somewhere, right?
Yes.
We're going to head off to commercial break because this is a lot of great information, you guys. And we now have gotten past the first meet and greet. Now there's some other questions we have. And I know what you guys are thinking. Samantha, don't go back to a commercial break. But I have to. So we'll see you back in 5. And when we get back, we will talk about all the good stuff that comes after you have that first date with that first amazing guy. See you back in 5. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
At Date Camp, we connect the best relationship experts and dating resources to the millions of single hearts ready for love. Date Camp delivers the information and advice needed to date successfully and love passionately.
The perfect date would be someone who treats me with respect, that we find a common ground, we can speak easily. And it's interesting because I think when you think of an ideal mate date situation, you're kind of looking for somebody who has qualities, well, similar to you, that you can match with. Not only match with, but also grow with.
Well, first, there would have to be a physical attraction. But beyond that, then for me, it goes to the mind. They have to be able to carry on an intelligent conversation, things in common, things that we like to do. That's the kind of person I would like to be with.
Hi guys, welcome back. Well, yes, I know I left you with a cliffhanger, and I left you with the concept of date camp. Well, Joanna is not just an amazing pleasure specialist and passion expert. She's the program director and passion expert for Date Camp. Now, let me tell you, I got videos and I was watching, and of course, Joanna here, it's probably gets her red, is talking about kissing, and there's a bunch of students there learning about like the first kiss and the first kiss. We're not going to start making out here. Still getting the ideas over there. Talk to me about what does this mean, this Date Camp? Because it's so cool. I mean, I got to tell you, I'm pretty hooked on that. And she just told me that the stuff on the website's for free, so I'm going to make sure I talk about that then too. What's Date Camp?
Date Camp it's the whole concept of, back in the day we used to go to basketball camp, we'd go to band camp, and
right?
Yeah, but nobody ever taught us to date.
Right.
So this was born of, we need a place to really learn how to date and get a chance to practice. You go to basketball camp, you're practicing your shots. Band camp, you're practicing. So Date Camp is made up of educational resources, connecting professional coaches to the millions of single hearts that are looking for love. And how do I find that love and then have it be great? And so it's a mixture of online resources that are sometimes hysterically funny and entertaining, from our horror stories to dating to, what are the skills that I need to have a great date? And so that online resource.
Is it really a camp though? Because I mean, that's when I watched the videos. Obviously, there were couples, but are single people at these classes too, or is
Actually,
it
the
with me?
videos you watched were all singles, and they were on practice dates.
They were.
So
Oh, those are practice
those
dates.
are practice dates.
Oh my God! I
Yes.
thought they were real because I know they were like kind of smirking or like fun kind of a thing. They are
absolutely practice dates.
so
And
funny. So
that's what it's
practice
about,
dates.
where you
Do they
can-
practice on each other? Oh my God!
The participants
Craziness.
You get to meet each other, and then we're going to just practice our dating skills. Now, maybe somebody will meet somebody, but the key is it's really about building the.
Has anyone ever met through those?
Not yet.
No. Okay. I always look for the good in those types of things.
Oh,
That's-
absolutely. But it's a chance to really sharpen who we are and bring our best to our dating.
So do we become professional daters after Cookies?
No. It's really about turning dating
Right.
into love.
Good.
Wow!
For me personally, and of course for people that are watching, how do we know how to look out for freaking commitment phobic guys? Because good God, they hide it so well. Or even for women, they say they want one thing and you get into this relationship and the next thing you know, I've read some very interesting books in my time. There's one called He's Scared, She's Scared, and it was about this. Have you heard of that?
I haven't read that one, no.
It's not
it
even
makes
psychologist,
sense.
and
Yeah.
it talks about active and passive commitment phobics and how people come on very strongly, but then once you reciprocate, they back off. And it's the active pursuit, and you play the game forever and ever, but it never goes into anything.
Yep.
Or you could be the other one, which is passive, which this guy's treating or girl's treating you like jerk, and you're just making excuses for them because you know that this is a guy you would never end up marrying, but you just make excuses of why he's treating you this way or why he's not made a commitment to you. I would say 90% of the people out there that are in the dating world get caught up in that. So how does somebody know those things? And what are the things to look for?
Well, one of the things around commitment is just, if we've got an overall pattern, it's going to show up in our day-to-day life. So do we make plans and stick to them? Do we say we're going to call or say we're going to do something, and do we actually follow through? Like, those are indicators of what our overall relationship is to commitment, and whether we stand true to our word, whether we show up.
Right.
So
For the dates, when you're speaking about like a date, or in this case?
In this case, if we show up, and not only just show up for the date, but like, do we show up in a conversation?
Sure.
Do we hide back? Do we, is he being elusive? Is she being elusive? So you can notice it in conversation too. How open, how available, how real. And, how do I know if somebody's being real? You can feel it. You can get a sense of their genuineness. But you have to be willing to be genuine to feel if they're being genuine. So look out for where you're not telling the truth.
Sure.
So all of that plays in, is watch how they actually do life, day to day, moment to moment, and it's going to give you a lot of indication of what's going to happen long term. And then how available and how real are you?
The hard part is that you go through that very beginning, as we were saying yesterday, when you go through all that kind of the first meeting and the cards and the calling, and then you've met someone, you go on a date, but where are the signals? Because sometimes those signals don't happen right away. Sometimes people say, but I never would have guessed he had phobic problems. Like, he was so nice, he called me all the time. Oh my God, he slept over every night. I mean, he talked about marriage, he talked about how much he loved my family, he talked about all these things, and like he's just gone. Like, what happened?
You know, there's a variety of different things that can happen, and sometimes men will talk about, even though we have different relationships with the future between men and women, and so we're very much looking down the road. Where is this going? Where is this going?
Right.
The masculine is more present moment, and I'm going to enjoy it.
Well, women are more the gatherers, so we have lots of questions.
We have lots of questions,
Yeah.
and we have...
And analyze too much.
And if we go back to, you know, our DNA, we're also driven by security. So
Yes.
can I get a hold of this guy? Is he going to stick around? And so those things will start to play into it. And
It's
then,
true.
you know, listening to how do we relate to our past, how do we talk about or relate to our past partners?
That's a good
And
subject. I want to
that's-
cover that too in this, because I think a lot of people do have past partners that were very hurt, and they're back out there again, and the trust is not there 100%. You tell your woe stories to each other. Is that a bad thing to do on a first date?
I wouldn't necessarily recommend it, especially
A lot
not
of people
woe
do it,
story.
though.
They do, but it's...
Is that a Debbie Downer? Is that something that could destroy the possibility of having another date? But if both parties are sharing their information.
It depends on, it can be, a first date can be like interview style.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's going to be a turn off too.
That's too many questions.
It's too many questions, and it's too analytical.
Yeah.
And it's going to be that masculine to masculine energy almost. So we got to get out of interview space. We got to be genuinely curious with each other, and then listen to the answers. And if somebody is bad mouthing any one or
a bad
more
sign.
of their past relationships, definitely a bad
They're
sign.
not over them.
They're not done.
Right.
They're still angry. There's still resentment. Or if you can feel the sadness that shows up, then they're still longing for something. They're still aching. And
The ones that keep talking about it. Would you
Yeah.
say, for as a number one pointer on this particular show, you go on your first date, if you find that the person that you're meeting is either cutting down their ex or doesn't seem to be mentally with you, that it's time to say goodbye for now? Yes?
Absolutely not mentally with you, not present.
Yeah.
You know, that's definitely.
They're not ready.
They're very often, that's an indicator they're not ready.
And you should not
how they're
ignore
talking.
that.
I would
And a lot of people
definitely-
do.
And a lot of people
Our
do.
caring heart as women, we say, well, he was hurt. She was so mean to him. I won't be that way towards him. That's what we all say.
We make a
We'll
lot
be
of
the better
excuses.
girlfriend. We'll be the better wife, because we won't be like that.
Yeah, we make those excuses. But here's the thing. Not everybody has healed absolutely everything from their past. So I want to
Right.
be careful here. It's where are the major red flags going off?
Yeah.
That there's significantly unresolved stuff. How present can they be? How generous can they be with themselves, with their expressions? How kind can they be? How kind are they to the waitress? All of those, you know, we may be in a pretty good space to have a relationship, but our society doesn't teach us to really clean up and finish our old relationships.
No.
So I'm making a distinction here is that you know, some uncleaned up business is just going to be normal in our society. The more we can, though, and I will work with singles and couples
Right.
to clear that stuff up so we can really be
So you
here.
counsel. You do counsel.
coach.
Couple Joanna also does
Yeah.
that. Now back in Colorado, you
Yes.
basically do that.
Yeah,
so
and online, I have lots
we'll
of
have that, you
clients I
guys,
haven't met.
at the end of the show, and of course on our website. We'll have some information on how to get a hold of Joanna, because you could tell she has a lot of great information, and maybe it wouldn't be bad for certain people during a breakup, maybe to give a call, especially if they've. If a question for you, because we're talking about dating here, and we're talking about kind of the very first in the intro stages, and of course we're going to get into kisses and sex and all that sort of stuff. Do you have any advice for people right now that are? It seems like as a universe, we're going through a time of change. It's almost like we're being all punished. It's true. You know how things being done in threes. It seems like it's just continuously. It's like a sign in some way that we're not paying attention to these things that are going around us. So we're having to kind of pay for it in a way, or it's like wake up. wake up. You're not going to get those relationships if you keep doing it. You're not going to get that job if you keep doing this. Our behavior is not appropriate, and the universe is not very happy with us.
Well, the joke is, you keep the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result.
Yeah.
And that's the key with dating is, if there's been this relationship that didn't work out, and this one that didn't work out, and this woman that wasn't the right woman, and she wasn't the right woman, but all of a sudden it's, wait a second, what's the common denominator between all those relationships? It's you. And the only place that your relationships are going to change, it's not because you're going to meet a different kind of woman or a different kind of guy. You have to change, and then the different people will show up.
I like this. And you know what, I know we have so much more to go over, and I know my audience hates this when I do this, but you gave us some great things to think about of the first encounter and the first things you talk about and to get the ball rolling, right? So I know you guys are waiting for some of the good stuff like the kissing and the sex and all those good things, and I'm not going to tell you about it right now because you're going to go to bed and you're going to wake up and you're going to turn on your TV at 10 o'clock the next night, and you're going to get a glass of wine, and you're going to see Joanna and I talking away. So good night to you all. We'll see you tomorrow night, and there's more in store. Have a good evening. Tomorrow on Get Sassy.
You've been mentioning the Big O.
Yes,
And
we talked about the Big O, guys. We're going to cover his Big O. So now, I'll tell you, my male friends, they said, Samantha, I know if a woman's faking. I'm like, oh God, you guys are so mistaken. We only fake it because we just want it to be over with. That's pretty much the bottom line.